Welcome back to episode 4 of Diary and Executive. In this episode, I'll be discussing the universal topic of overcoming fears and comfort zones with my guests, 2026 Content Subcom, Poreddy and Sam Vibol. Hi Sam and Sai, how are you both doing?
Going pretty fine, just had class before this, so...
Same here. I just had class before this and I had an hour break, so I'm here now.
Have you had like assignments or anything, to stress you out just straight from the start?
Yes, my group mates are bad. They didn't do too much work, so I had to cover for them. But it's all good now.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm lucky on that front, my assignment's just released, so... And my group is pretty decent.
What are your degrees, just for context?
I'm a civil engineer. I'm currently in my third year, first semester.
I'm a software engineer, and I am teetering between second and third year. I honestly don't know anymore.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
As long as you're here today. I'm going to start us off. So basically, the first question that I always ask every guest is, how do you define personal growth? What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, it means setting out small milestones throughout my whole life and hitting those whenever I can and not being too down when I don't, because we're all growing one pace at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
On the same note, it's like those incremental steps you take daily to improve yourself. They don't always have to be, major steps. They could just be like meeting new people, saying hello in the class.
Yeah.
Just anything that improves yourself and set goals.
I think the word personal growth can kind of scare people off sometimes, but like it's basically what you guys said, like self-improvement.
It's really broad. So
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah. As humans, we tend to sit in our comfort zones more than like higher risk growth zones. Why do you think we do that? Is that because of a fear of failure? Is that because of like emotional discomfort that we're trying to avoid? What do you guys think is the reason behind that?
In my case, at least, it's always the risk of failure, because my self-esteem kind of relates to success in essence. So if it's something that can, harm that, I would ideally stay away, stick to my comfort zones. But at the same time, it's purely a mental battle. That's all it is.
Okay. Mine is mostly the fear of the unknown. So if it's something new to me, I need to get all the information I can before I want to proceed. And stepping out of my comfort zone without any information just gives me that innate fear. But once you step out of it, it just becomes so much easier to approach new tasks and even more difficult tasks forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels more empowering once you've like taken that small step, because then like you can do everything else after that.
Yeah, it's always worse in your head.
Yeah. We always like magnify it. I always think about it as like, how in an exam, like when you study for it, you study so much, but there's only like, say 20% of what you studied in the exam. I feel like it's the same for fear. Like you sit there thinking of all these possibilities, only 20% of it or 10% or 5% happens.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Even with you were saying how you link your self-esteem to your success. I feel like that's something unhealthy that we're taught to do. I think because like we grow up just being celebrated for our achievements, whether that's be like from school or even like at home, like you're given credit once you do something good. You're like, oh, good boy, good girl. Like, I think, yeah, I think it's very harmful in that way. And if you feel like at some stage you're like not succeeding, that could really affect self-esteem. So I think it's good if we try to like diversify what we base our self-esteem on. Yeah. Do you think our mind is for or against us? And do you think we have power and control over our mind and thoughts to influence how our body responds?
I wouldn't say it's for or against. It's kind of how you shape it yourself. Like at the start, of course, your mind will be thinking of all the bad possibilities and all the things that could happen. But at the same time, if you train your mind, you could also just push yourself. You could make it actually built around your goals and just pushing it constantly. Yeah.
I would say the same. It's our mind is more neutral in a way. Once you think of the bad stuff, you can also think of the good stuff, and that will counteract each other. And it will just, for me, it was like kind of a waste of time to think about the what ifs, the extreme what ifs, instead of just thinking and being present in the moment.
Yeah. I've been recently thinking about that. Like we can save so much energy if we don't sit there predicting like what if or just overanalyzing things sometimes.
That's true,
Yeah. I did some research and there's a couple of reasons why our body sometimes takes over in moments of like anxiety, panic, like fear. So basically what happens is, as humans, as you know, like we're wired for survival and we have the fight or flight response, which gets activated whenever the body detects danger. This response also includes freeze and fawn responses. Fawn is like people pleasing or like just, trying to act in the situation. And then adrenaline and cortisol being the stress hormone, rush through the body in these moments. The amygdala in the brain, which is the threat detector and the center for emotional responses, scans our environment for potential danger, both the conscious and the subconscious ones, which is why we can feel on edge or alert even when there's nothing visibly dangerous in front of us, or even if we're not thinking about something in particular. What's happening is our nervous system is remembering like a past incident where we felt that danger and we're trying to respond to it, even though in the present day there's no danger again. And our brain is also designed to prime and prioritize negative over positive input because a threat is more costly than an opportunity, and so its priority is surviving over thriving. And also when the brain is heavily stressed or traumatized, it remodels itself to prioritize instant safety. The amygdala becomes hyperactive while the hippocampus, which is the memory center, and the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logical reasoning, decision making, and impulse control, become less active, which is why we become like more emotional. However, this can be reshaped through the power of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's formation of healthier neural connections in response to new experiences and new life lessons.
I'll be frank, I kind of glazed everything off when you said cortisol because I keep seeing those memes on my Instagram page now. So I apologize, but like, what I did catch, I do agree with.
Yeah.
Do you think it takes people respond to those experiences differently? Like, it might take a person like one experience to reshape how their brain thinks, and then it might take another person 5, 6, 7 experiences to change their mindset.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I feel like it depends who you are as a person, like how you're built. I think also something that influences it, like for example, I'm a sensitive person, so if I get like traumatized, for example, like not necessarily traumatized, but like even a shock, like that will take me longer to form those new neural connections than like say someone who isn't sensitive, because again it's all linked to the nervous system, and sensitivity is also a nervous system thing.
And do you think that also correlates to our personality types, like introverts might be a bit more sensitive to this, extroverts they don't really care, they're just being extroverts, stuff like
I
that.
mean, they do care, they're probably just better
hiding it more based on experience mostly.
I agree. I think it's kind of limiting when you just say that it's like because of this reason. It's also like linked to like personality. I also feel like we're a mix of both introverts and extroverts. I feel like sometimes it depends like the people you're around. Like I would consider myself an ambivert. Like I like to have my alone time, but I also need like social time.
That's true.
100%.
Yeah.
That is what I consider myself as
Yeah.
well.
It's quite limiting when they put us in these like boxes, like you're either this or that. Like I don't want to be put in a box. I can be both.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, how do you try to face the negative stuff in your own inner world? So for example, the fears, worries, doubts, or insecurities. What do you do in response?
Well, for me, I always I have a lot of experience and knowledge on other people's experience on this. So when I think I'm down, I always think about, someone probably had it worse than me. Like let's say I don't have a car to get here, but some people are stuck in the hospital, they can't even walk. So someone always have it worse than me, and then that kind of makes me feel better and want to do something more with my current situation.
But I feel also, is it healthy to think that way? Because does that like kind of,
Degrade them?
like
It's a bit extreme.
does it unvalidate your own experience by saying that like someone else is going through something else that's like more difficult? Because also I feel like it depends on like how you respond to the situation. Like you can put two people in the same like crisis, for example. One person can have a particular internal reaction, the other person a different one. So do you think that it's also dependent on that and not just the actual event itself?
No, it depends on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I just have to say, your ideas before, you were saying you don't have a car and then you compare it to a guy in the hospital. Not a single correlation between the two.
What do you mean?
Like, I know you're saying that you could have it worse, but like, you're going way
No, but
different angles.
It's okay. We embrace everything
we
here.
embrace everything, but still.
I don't have a car, but like, this guy's dying. Right?
No, this
There's
guy.
no comparison.
Not this guy's dying, but more like this guy can't walk at the moment.
Yeah.
It's something like that. You have to be grateful for this situation.
Yeah. I think that's the point. Yeah,
Yeah,
gratitude.
you have to be grateful. Unless you're like at the bottom, like you're like really having it
There's
that bad.
nothing lower.
Yeah.
There's nothing lower than that.
You are the bar.
I think that's a really important point, gratitude. whatever happens, just being like, even if you're having like a bad life stage, there's always some positive in it. I don't think it's ever either this or that. There's always a mix of both. Yeah. If you were to visualize fear as a person in front of you now and are able to vent one frustration or say one thing to it, what would you say?
That's simple. I hate you. There's nothing else I can say because it's not going to change anything. Even if he physically becomes a person, I just have anger. I just hate him.
Your
There's nothing.
fears.
I mean, I hate the idea that it stops me from doing something I want to. Like fear of new experiences of meeting people. You never know who you can meet. Like a new entire life story could happen there. But like that fear of saying hello, that is a problem I have. I can't be the first to introduce myself.
Yeah.
So then that that's just a blocker, and hence I hate fear in that essence.
Okay. Mine is more like I'm not scared of you anymore, or I'm not scared of you as I once was. So it always just make the fear smaller every time. That's about it for me.
That's a really good point. I think we have relationships with emotions, but we don't think about it.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
innate, just inside you don't really word it really.
Yeah, like recently I feel like I've developed a better relationship with anxiety. I've learned how to, I heard this thing once and it's really helped me, and like this is advice if it's helpful for you too. Visualize the emotion in front of you as if it's which is what this question is. Visualize it in front of you and like acknowledge its presence. Don't deny it. Don't try to push it down or away because that's not going to help. Like your body's responding to that feeling. It's not going to go away if you keep pushing it down. Acknowledge it, sit with it, let it pass, and know that it's temporary. It's not staying there permanently. Everything will pass. And yet, like, speak to it, like, journal about it, just let it all out. I think when it stays stuck in the body and when that energy isn't moved, that also inhibits it even more. Even, like, I've realized just going and, like, moving my body, like, going on a walk, even, like, just walking around the house, changing rooms, I feel like all of that stuff helps. Yeah. A way of battling fear is by introducing small changes to our systems, which is like taking baby steps when the task feels very daunting. What are some examples of ways you put this into practice in your daily life?
Well, I would say just create like small achievable victories throughout the day. So let's say make the bed, clean the dishes, put away the dishes, boil some water for the people to use, and maybe in cooking, like those small achievable victories can maybe boost your confidence and make you deal with those fears even better throughout the day. Or even like complimenting someone or talking to someone throughout the day, like maybe getting coffee, just have a conversation with them. It really alleviates the fear and stress.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about like my personal experience. I'll talk about one of my previous fears, which was before I had a dog. I had this one experience as a child where, looking back, really stupid, but it's something that made me horrified of dogs for like the longest time. Because I was a child in a stroller, right? So I'm like trapped in here. I can't move. My mom's just walking around. This elderly lady has like her giant dog on a leash. He just somehow decides to jump me of all people. So that fear of being attacked by any dogs just made me absolutely, I wouldn't say detest him, but like anytime a dog comes like one side, I would be walking to the other side of the road like instantly. Ignore the cars I'm running. But then how I got over that fear is when I got my own one, which was, again, for the first 6 months, I was also terrified of my own boy, even though he's a tiny puppy, which is, again, really stupid looking back, but it is what it is. It was just going to the dog park, I guess. Exposure therapy, that's how I get over things. So being surrounded by a bunch of dogs that are actually friendly. And also, that dog way back then was also friendly. He didn't actually attack me, but from my eyes and my view, it was horrifying. So
Yeah. I agree, exposure therapy. I'm still scared of dogs. I think it was also from childhood. There was some instance, like I don't remember, but I think I was really young, which is why like it's even more impactful. It really shapes like how you think about it in the future. But yeah, like more recently I've become like more comfortable around them when I see like more positive experiences. Yeah, similar to what you said.
exposure therapy, it's
Yeah.
the best strat.
Would you say fear is the most challenging roadblock on the path to progress and success and getting what we want in life, or something else? And just one more thing before you guys answer. Stephen Bartlett, he's an English entrepreneur, investor, and the podcast host of Diary of a CEO. He posted this thing saying that you can predict someone's success in any area of their life by observing how willing and capable they are at dealing with discomfort. Your personal progression is trapped behind something uncomfortable. I think that resonated. Do you guys also want to comment on that alongside the question?
That is a pretty good interpretation of that. For me, yes, I think that fear really stops my progression in life. It's like, first of all, it's like going up to do something great. Like, let's say give a speech. Of course, everyone has that fear of doing it, but it's just like you said, you need to just expose yourself to it more and more for you to be more comfortable with it. It's just taking that first step, and sometimes you don't want to take that first step, so you need someone else to push you a little bit more towards that step. And once you get there, sometimes you don't even need them anymore, and you actually enjoy the things that that you fear before.
I think also we kind of tend to rely on ourselves a lot and forget that it's fine if people help us, because none of us know everything, none of us have all the skills needed in the world, so I think we all complement each other. Something that I don't have, you might have, and then vice versa. Like, we all help each other with what we know.
I mean, my answer, I guess, again, personally, fear is definitely the biggest roadblock I have. It blocks many doors to greener pastures, but I can't really say anything else after that. It is what it is. I just have to expose myself to these events because, again, public speaking, still terrified of that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like, speeches and presentations, which I tend to try and avoid at most, but after some time, after you expose yourself, obviously you're going to improve. Again, with like the case I said before, dogs. I was terrified of them, and then being surrounded by a bunch of them made me change.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's opened a new world to me.
The thing is, sometimes there's no way around it unless you just face that fear. Like, you can't, or like you face something similar to it, and then once you feel empowered in that situation, you're able to face the main fear. I want to say something also. In regards to public speaking, I feel like in front of a huge audience, like huge, I'm fine. But once you put me in front of say 20 people and I can see their faces, I just get so nervous. I don't know what happens. Like, I think I also have this thought in my head that plays what if they're judging me?
Yeah, it's
true, but you can put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
You can put yourself in their shoes and go through the thought process too. Is when you are them, you don't think those thoughts.
Yeah.
You just think, okay, I'm just gonna hear what they're gonna say and maybe empower them, because you never want to see people fail. You always want to encourage them and stuff. But when you're actually doing it, you always have your brain always tends to go to the negative thoughts first.
Yeah, and you're always anticipating what's going to happen next. Sometimes it's hard to just stay in that present moment. Even they're looking at you and they could be giving you a positive reaction, but I don't know, I think the brain just bases it off past stuff and just predicts something that isn't actually happening.
You just have to understand that 90% of them do not care what you say.
Yeah, that's true.
I say this to myself every time before a speech, and then I still end up messing up the speech because I mess up the presentation slides. I still have a bad memory about one of my assignments in English. It was an actual presentation plus your speech. I got so nervous, I was jittering, and I was reading my speech, but I forgot to actually press the slides. So at the end of class, my teacher was straight up asking me, "Are you okay? You need help? I'm here for you."
Oh my god.
I mean, it's really embarrassing, but I haven't made that mistake since.
Yeah.
I forced myself to train it. Yeah.
I think sometimes the worst has to happen so then you learn for the future. And
Yeah, that's true.
you need that shock sometimes.
I hate that shock.
Emotional discomfort.
This is exposure therapy.
But that wasn't meant to be an experience in the first place.
What do you mean? Okay.
With comfort zones comes a feeling of certainty. How do you deal with uncertainty and the unknown in life, which is what you were talking about also?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have some sort of anchor that grounds you, for example, religion, other spiritual or non-spiritual beliefs, sports, body practices, meditation, anything else?
For me, it's just basically just talking to friends, especially older friends, about my issues, and then also having them giving me advice and all those stuff. And also talking to family, I found that it also alleviates the pressure, because all of them are very supportive. No one wants to see you fail, and it's just talking to people and getting your thoughts out there instead of keeping it to yourself. Or you can journal. It also helps.
I think also because your family knows you.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas other people, they might, be judging, not necessarily judging, but they don't know you. So they could judge you without knowing the full picture. Okay, do you think it's all about being in control of our own thoughts and emotions? For instance, being in control of the feeling of fear and deciding what thoughts we attach to fearful experiences?
You want to start, Sam?
You can go first.
I mean, yeah, I would say it is all about controlling your emotions, but again, that's a lot easier said than done. Because saying controlling your, like, how happy you are or something, it's very easy. You can, tone it down a bit. But like controlling your fears, your anxiety, your anger, once you start bottling it up, it's going to explode. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But the ideal is obviously, nirvana, reaching emotional peace.
Okay. I would say ideally you would want to control your emotions, but like I said, we're all humans, so we tend to, try to bottle it up and then, just release it all in one day on maybe like a specific one person stuff. That usually does not go well. So
Yeah.
we should
Use it in short bursts.
just do it in short bursts. So you can go, like, release it by kicking some rocks or punching air. I don't know, anything that.
Why are all your options about abusing things?
It's abusing things that is a concept. At least you're not going around
Did that
doing
rock
it.
consent?
What? No, what? Don't do it. Just don't do it to people. Release it in a way that you think is okay. Like maybe, I don't know, like Beethoven when he was
Journaling.
mad, he composed a really good music.
No, yeah.
That's how he released his anger, and I feel like we should all try to do that instead of
We
just
should all become A1 composers.
yes, we should try to become geniuses at will.
Yeah.
I agree on that one. That's what I do to release my emotions. I write songs. I feel like that's what really helps me release it. Like sometimes,
Can we hear a song?
it's just the lyrics.
Oh,
Yeah.
Some
demo.
PG sub
Guys, stop pressuring me.
PG sub production house. We have here. We can cook
can-
some stuff up.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes like other things don't help as much. Like journaling, okay, I write it down, but then I feel like because like sometimes the depth of it needs like art and music to be, or at least for me. Yeah. I've got a question that's attached to this one. How do we become in control of ourselves instead of life? It's a bit deep and existential.
I feel like to try to be in control, you need to know what you want to do in life. So you should try to do random activities like
Yeah.
what people in
This is part of the emotion part.
yeah, it's just like how people in their midlife they just go bouldering, they go hiking, they go marathon running. It's always or a trip to Japan. It's always those.
Yeah.
And just trying those out, just knowing what you want or trying something new that you never thought to try before with people that also are going through the same thing will definitely give you a fresh new perspective in life.
I think it's good you mentioned travel because that really shifts your perspective.
That really is.
Like I remember the first time I went overseas, like I felt like a metamorphosis. Like to that point, it was so life changing. Like I returned a different person. I don't know, and like it shows you that there's so much more beyond your reality and your community and your house and just this life that you've set for yourself. Because like all of us have life designs, right? So like we come to uni, we have work, we have this, we have that, but there's so much more beyond this life design that we've given ourselves. And I think we feel that also when we change life stages. So like when we were at school, we had a particular life design. Now it's changing and then our world is expanding. And then once we become adults, a new life design. So I don't know, the brain's always adjusting to something new.
I 100% agree because every day of engineering makes me want to do fast food instead.
Software engineering.
Get into that cafe ASAP.
I want to, I really do, but like, I need money for that.
Yeah.
Screw the software, I'm just going to go to the oil rig industry.
Oil rig.
That's real good money, man.
I mean, but you might die.
Yeah, but money.
That's true. What, 100k plus a year? Not bad.
No, it's way more. It's like 250, bro.
250, and you
Also-
only work 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Sorry, this is completely unrelated to
Yeah.
Unrelated to personal growth, we're not talking about money.
What advice would you give to someone feeling stuck or scared of taking a step forward in whatever context or circumstance that may be?
As Shia LaBeouf says it, just do it. That's simple as that. That's how I get over my fears.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to improve if you don't do something. Maybe take just baby steps at least at the start. You don't, have to force yourself to do, say like your fear is jumping off a cliff. You don't actually have to jump off a cliff. You can go like incrementally increase the heights.
Until you jump off that cliff.
Yeah.
Okay, not a cliff. That makes it sound really bad. I meant cliff jumping as in into the ocean.
That's even worse. Okay.
How is that worse? Cliff jumping is a hobby, bro.
To the ocean. Okay.
I think also if it's something you really want, just like visualize that future life that you're gonna have, and like think, is it like, would I rather this current life or would I rather the future life? It's like, which one do I want, and what's required to reach that future life? Even if it's something that you have to overcome that fear, but what's worse, not overcoming that fear and staying in that present life, or overcoming that fear and accessing so much more?
But I feel like if you want to reach a certain goal in life, you need to be also consistent. At the start, it's like, oh, I want to reach this. That's motivation. But
Yeah.
keeping that consistency throughout that time. Like, let's say I want to be a great musician in 5 years, can play the guitar well. Every day, I mean, maybe for the first few months, you are just going off purely on motivation, but then you need the consistency. How do you think you can get that consistency?
I think defining your goals and being very like sure of them. Like when you're talking, because I'm also trying to learn the piano. But I think you need to like be very resolute about it, and even like just having an image in your head could kind of help sometimes. For example, the image of you reaching a day where you can just play whatever like song you want, making it as clean, specific as possible for yourself, I think. Yeah.
Just actions over words. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You can always tell yourself, I'm going to practice 2 hours a day, but like, if you don't actually do that,
then
nothing's going to change.
Nothing's gonna change. You can.
Yeah.
But do people say that to feel better about themselves? Like, let's say, I'm gonna do this 2 hours a day, and then you finally got out of your chest, but then when it comes to doing it, it's like, I'm gonna skip it. It's like
That is
I can keep it for the next day, and then the next day happens. It's just negative reinforcement. It's just like, oh, I already,
I
didn't
skipped
do
it one day. What's another?
Yeah, what's another? It's like that. Or like I skipped one class. What's the next? And
Yeah.
it's very addicting.
Maybe if you like have a timeline for yourself, like by September, for example, I need to have reached this level of skill. I think that's what keeps you accountable. Also, like with consistency, I feel like in anything, whatever it is you're doing, I don't think we should be doing it every day to be consistent. Like, for example, for me, like I sing, but I shouldn't be practicing every day. First of all, like my voice should rest. I should give it like recovery time. And second of all, I don't think it's possible every day. Like sometimes things pop up. Sometimes like you're not in the mood. Like I think we beat ourselves up too much if we do it like super consistently. Like consistency, I think, can take the form of like 2-3 times a day, and I think that's still consistency as long as it's being repeated and done over time.
Yeah, the issue with the daily thing is also burnout.
Yeah.
You can start off like, say, I want to learn guitar, which was what I did, but like after you try it a few times and you kind of suck at it, doing it repeatedly daily, if you keep sucking at it, with my case, you kind of start losing that interest.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So
do you think it's also good to find like someone who relates to you in
Yeah.
that way?
it's always good to have a training partner.
Yeah,
Yes.
training partner, so that you can keep pushing each other to become better too.
Yeah.
But the hard part is finding that training partner.
I do have options, but like I keep saying no.
I think even just with the training partner, there's always a negative part to every experience in life. So just having someone to like fall back on or support you and who will understand you, because you can have people who are supporting you but they're not going through that experience, or they're not able to understand you or empathize sometimes. So yeah, that's a really helpful thing.
Just make sure you don't fall into that trap of comparing yourself again.
Yeah.
If they start improving too much, then you're gonna start getting really annoyed about yourself. Just keep it moderate.
Yeah.
That's a form of jealousy, but
It is
Yeah,
jealousy,
it's
100%.
jealousy,
But like
yeah.
that is also a certain consequence that comes with training partners.
that's true.
I think also with jealousy, it's what you do with it. Like some people can feel like a little bit of jealousy, but they don't act on it or harm.
It could be
Whereas-
motivation or it could be
Yeah.
demolition.
Some people just go and harm, that's where it gets wrong.
Yeah.
How can we reframe fear when it comes up? How can we convert it into something more positive to ease the stress and pressure of it?
It's just a door. After you cross that, greener pastures. A lot more that like nicer stuff is on the other side of that door. That's all it is, just a giant wall.
The same with me. It's just it's a wall that you have to overcome, and once you overcome it once, you can say, I already did it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And then you just keep doing it.
As I said before, a lot easier said than done, but like at the end of the day, that is what fear is.
Yeah.
It is just a simple wall.
I think it's also like, I wish our mind wouldn't magnify it, because it's, say for example, I don't know, what's a fear? Like the dog, for example, the example of the dog, like speaking to the dog, like that's literally what's going to happen. You're going to like come close to the dog, nothing more, like that's it. But our mind sits there thinking, what if this happens? And then that could happen. Like, I think we should just like control our thoughts and just, stay, like refer back to that one event, not sidetrack in our thoughts. But yeah, it's easier said than done.
I mean, sometimes also it's not that it magnifies the fear, it just shrinks yourself, what you think of yourself. Like, again, with me and social anxiety, I guess, I always make myself look worse than I actually am. It's even worse than, like, let's say the fear of actually just saying hi. Because in the grand scheme of things, that's just tiny. But then I always make myself feel, really tiny. It sucks.
Yeah.
Why do you think you do that? Is it because like trauma from the past, or is it just like?
I wouldn't relate it to trauma or anything. It's just innate.
Just you?
It is me.
Is it something that like developed with you at some stage and then it just continued?
Since I, moved around schools a lot, I could never, maintain those relationships, which is the biggest regret of my life, is every time I moved schools, after like 3 weeks, I would, kind of cut contact with the rest. Like, the only ones I've actually kept contact with, like, my last high school family. So I'm really thankful for that, but, like, every other school I left, I would talk to them, like, maybe 3 times throughout the entire year, and then just eventually the relationship fizzles out, which kind of makes you, against making new connections because of the fear that I will lose them in the end.
So it's like, what's the point of making new if
that's
it's all gonna go to waste? Okay.
Yeah. Can you recount a story, a time where you had to take action for something, but your fear was holding you back, and you didn't end up doing what you wanted to do? Did you face worse consequences later on?
Trauma dumping. Swimming for me. Because when I was a child in swimming school, my instructor tried to throw me into the big pools like, float. Obviously, that did not help me at all. And all these years later, I still do not know how to swim. Which is something I will eventually have to learn because, well, it's Australia. Swimming is kind of necessary here.
I still don't have a good
Yeah, it's
answer
okay.
to that.
Do you regret anything in your life that was a result of fear staying in your comfort zone? And would you go back and push yourself to do that thing, or would you keep things as they are and let them teach and shape you into the more developed person that you are today?
You're right, I think I answered the wrong question. That was my other answer. It was swimming still, I guess. Because, well, obviously, not being able to swim really blocks off potential activities in the water.
Yeah.
Because, like, kayaking and stuff, that's something I want to do because exploration. But since I can't swim, it's dangerous in essence, unless I'm with people I trust. But yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Is there anything you've regretted in your life, and would you go back and, like, as a result of fear, and would you go back and change that, or would you just keep it as it is and, like, let it shape you?
Well, if I could go back in time, I will change it. Like, let's say my fear of presentation, I also have a big fear of social anxiety back then. Not a fear of talking to new people, fear of being judged and all that. But like it's always worse in your head back then, because if I don't blame myself, because I was a child, I always have that mentality of like people looking at me. But back then, no one cares. Literally, you only think of yourself, which is like a selfish thing. But and then that's just a learning experience. I wouldn't say that if I were to go back and redo it, I would do it again, but with my current knowledge.
Yeah, that's really important. Like what knowledge and awareness level you have at the time. Not beating yourself up and being self-forgiving.
Talking about regrets again, as I mentioned before, every time I move schools, losing contact, that is one of my biggest regrets, because there were so many cool people I've met, but relationships fade, and I just gotta get used to that.
I think also they don't warn us that we should like continue contacting people. Like they just assume, okay, you made friends. Like I don't think anyone really ever makes that point to stay in contact with your friends and make the effort. You just eventually realize that in life. Yeah, you realize that and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I have to do that. Okay, last question. What value do you think the UTS Personal Growth Society offers when it comes to pushing beyond our fears and comfort zones?
Well, having like podcasts like these, or like talks, like one-on-one talks about our upcoming events, really help people, express themselves and in a judgment-free zone where we're all also trying to improve ourselves. And it's just the community is a very inclusive.
Yeah.
They think about everyone's ideas and stuff, and that we are very intolerant to bad mouthing and stuff, except Sai.
Yeah.
That's
He's
not
an
even
exception.
you, sir.
Exception.
That's a personal thing with you,
Exception right here. But yeah, just there's a lot of cool people in this society, and if you're struggling with something, then yeah, this is the good place for you to come and make friends.
Yeah.
If you have social anxiety like me, it is the best way to meet new people. You might meet really nice people like the Vibol and our editor Perman over there, and Nat. You might also meet people like Sam.
This is my number one.
You
hater.
might also.
My number one hater.
I think also when you become an executive also, because we're executives, you're going to have to interact with people at events, right? So I feel like that also pushes you to meet new people, even like potentially form friendships with them. Even like at our weekly growth gathers, like for example, yesterday, there was a lot of interaction where you get to learn from other people's perspectives and how they think. And I don't know, everyone just learns from each other. It just gives you that new way of thinking, and yeah, I don't know, it really extends you. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I have a final motivational quote about comfort zones and overcoming fears. The biggest rewards in life are found outside of your comfort zone. Live with it. Fear and risk are prerequisites if you want to enjoy a life of success and adventure. It's by Jack Canfield. Yeah.
I know that person.
I've
do
heard
you?
of that name. It's been a long time since I've heard of that name, but yeah, no, I agree with what he said.
Yeah. I think there's always some sort of risk that we've got to take to get what we want. Yeah. This brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you for coming on Diary and Executive and for all your perspectives and insights. If you like this episode, please feel free to follow us for more content and subscribe to our channel, and just comment your thoughts below and let us know what you're interested in hearing from us. Until next time, remember that every change in life begins with a small manageable step or a big bold leap of faith. Whichever step you choose to take, visualize the future gains of it and just believe in yourself. Just do it. Don't think it too much. You never know what you could gain from it. And one day you'll be very proud of yourself, and I think you'll thank yourself for the courage that you had in the present day to get what you want in the future.
Please like and subscribe our channel and help us grow our currently very small fan base.
It's mostly just
maybe
execs.
100.
One day.
One day we'll make an update. Diary of the CEO. We'll become,
we'll be famous.
Diary of the PG Sock Society.
PG Sock.